Okay. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Once again, thank you for entrusting the education of your child to the Oxnard School District team. This evening, we want to share with you some of the details related to the return to in-person learning for your child if you decided that that's the program that you want your child to be in. You will also learn some of the details of how we are balancing distance learning and in-person learning. Today, we will not have interactive actions verbally. The questions, please feel free to write and type up your questions in the chat box, and our team will do the best that they can to answer immediately. If throughout these 50 minutes we are not able to respond all of your questions, we will make sure that we will compile those and we will publish the responses so you have the information that you need. Let's go to the next. Thank you. Our agenda today will cover the home screening, what we are asking you to do at home before you send your child to our campuses, what the return to campus means, the schedules, facilities and cleaning, and you will get some information about special education services and how we are welcoming our students who are in special education services. My name, I am Carlin Aguilera Fort, and I am the Superintendent of Schools of the Oxnard School District, proud Superintendent of the Oxnard School District. With me are the Dr. Ana DeJena, our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services. We have also Mr. Ben Tirado, who is the Director of Custodial Services, Ms. Anna Thomas, Director of Curriculum, Dr. Ginger Shea, Director of Special Programs, Dr. Araceli Fox, Director of Curriculum Dual Language Programs, Dr. Marlene Batista, who is Director in Human Resources, and Ms. Noemi Valdez, our Director of our Early Childhood. Next, please. So this meeting, as Dr. Ginger Shea explained, is streamed in live through the webinar.oxnard.org. Completely in English. We just finished our webinar in Spanish, and we have American Sign Language interpretation. The meeting is recorded. If you need to go back and listen to it, you will have the opportunity once it is posted and published. Next, please. You will be able to receive this information in what we call the blueprint for success. However, this is something that we want to ask every family to do before you send your child to the school site. This is a checklist that we are asking you to go over every single morning. If your child presents any of these symptoms, please keep your child at home and call your health provider. If the temperature is above 99.5 degrees, and or if your child have these symptoms, cough, chills, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, please keep your child at home and call your medical provider. If your child had close contact within 4 to 6 feet with anyone with a confirmed case of COVID-19, also keep your child at home. If your child has experienced a persistent cough within the last 14 days, you keep your child at home. Make sure that you contact the school, inform the school, and keep us informed so we know exactly what is the status of your child's health. Next one, please. Now, we want to invite you to watch this video that summarizes most of the key features related to how we are preparing for the return to in-person learning. The video shows some of the classrooms and some of the measures we have taken. Let's go with the video, please.
Hello. I am Dr. Carlin Aguilera Fort, and I am the proud superintendent of schools in the Oxnard School District.
My apologies, give me just a second. You should be able to see the video now. Can someone confirm?
Yes.
Hello. I am Dr. Carlin Aguilera Fort, and I am the proud superintendent of schools in the Oxnard School District. Today, I am excited to welcome you and to tell you that if you selected that your child will come to schools for in-person learning, we are ready for you. We are ready for your child. If you decided that for the moment, it is better to keep your child learning remotely or from home, you also will know what will be the schedule. Either way, we will have instruction in person and or virtually 4 consecutive days per week. Monday, Tuesdays, Thursday, Fridays. On Wednesday, there will be a check-in for every single student. And then we will have small group instruction for a specific group of students. Remember, we'll have a schedule for the students that are coming every single day, and we will have also a schedule for your child if he or she is learning remotely. Either way, the days are the same: Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday and Friday. Please join us right now.
When students arrive to school, they will walk through the gate and go to the assigned area to line up. Markers have been placed to remind students to physically distance themselves from each other. Please note, parents, guardians, and visitors will not be allowed on campus. Everyone, staff and students, are required to wear face coverings at all times. Face masks must cover the mouth and nose. Approved masks include non-medical disposable masks and cloth face coverings. Masks need to have 2 or 3 layers. They must cover your mouth and nose, and it goes under the chin and does not have significant gaps around the nose or other parts of the face. Gaiters are okay as long as it has 2 layers. Signs and markers are posted around the school as a reminder to students and staff to physically distance, wear masks, and wash hands. Hand sanitizing stations and portable hand washing stations will be set up in the entrances of all campuses. The majority of classrooms have sinks. Extra sanitizing stations have been placed where additional capacity is needed. A one-way flow of traffic is noted with directional signals and markings. Excess and non-essential furniture was removed from classrooms to support physical distancing. Classroom furniture has been spaced to maintain 6 feet of physical distance. Students will have assigned seating. Desks have been spaced, sneeze guards have been provided, and each student will have a materials box for limited sharing of resources. Classroom capacity has been limited to 12 to 17 students as space allows. The Oxnard School District Child Nutrition Services Department will provide breakfast to be served in the classroom. It is a no spill and low trash menu. Lunch will be served as grab-and-go lunch bags as students leave campus. Our schools have added water bottle refilling stations to provide students access to water. Please label your child's water bottle so it makes it home safely. There is no recess, but there may be teacher-led activities outdoors. At the end of the day, each school has a dismissal plan for students to exit campus at an assigned gate. Your school will communicate this information to you prior to reopening. Our facilities team has worked hard to upgrade air filters and HVAC equipment. They have maximized ventilation to rooms by increasing the opening of the outside air intake dampers on HVAC equipment to 100% available fresh air. Air filters have been upgraded to MERV 13 rating. HEPA air purifiers have been purchased, and HVAC fans have been set to run continuously for fresh air and heat or cool when occupied. Custodial services will ensure that when the building is occupied, high-touch surfaces will be cleaned and disinfected as practical. On Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, all classrooms will be cleaned and disinfected while the building is unoccupied. This includes trash being emptied, spot sweeping, mopping, vacuuming, cleaning sinks, and restocking of soap, sanitizer, and towels. Additionally, the district has purchased Clorox 360 electrostatic sprayers. These will be used to disinfect classroom surfaces. This process does not remove soil or debris. Frequently touched surfaces will be cleaned and disinfected daily and throughout the day as practical, including door handles, light switches, sink handles, bathroom surfaces, tables, chairs, and desks. Bathrooms are considered a high-touch area and will be cleaned, restocked, disinfected nightly and throughout the day as practical. As we continue to prepare for students to return to campus, please check the Oxnard School District webpage or follow us on Facebook and Twitter. These locations will house our updates and other important information for families. We look forward to seeing you in our classrooms soon.
As you can see, we are ready and we are prepared to welcome your child if you decided to send him or her to our school for in-person learning. We have shown you the classrooms, the way we have organized the space so that we are observing the distance required by the guidelines of the Department of Health. We have also shown you how student materials are organized, and we have shown you how we are cleaning and the air quality for every single space in which our students will be learning and our teachers will be teaching. Once again, welcome back. We are excited to receive, to welcome, and to teach your child in our classrooms. Thank you for entrusting the education of your child to the Oxnard School District.
My apologies. I need a moment to bring up the presentation again. There you go. I'm sorry, Dr. Aguilar-Fort, you're muted.
Yeah, I just realized that. Thank you. As I mentioned before, you will have in our webpage what we call the blueprint for success. It looks like this. And in this blueprint for success, we are explaining all the different measures and considerations Some of them are in the video, but here you have also more details, including details related to your particular school. Next slide, please. I now would like to invite our Assistant Superintendent of Educational Services, Dr. Ana De Llena, and she will be sharing with us schedules and phases as we bring the students back to in-person learning. Thank you. Dr. De Llena.
Good evening to our families and communities out there. It's very nice to have you join us this evening. I hope you are as excited as we are about the return to school for our students. We have been waiting a year for this moment and are very much looking forward to it. Our students will be brought back in phases, and below are on this slide are the phases that we will use. On March 22nd, which is this upcoming Monday, we're going to be hosting a staff development day. So this is a non-student day for our staff in order to gather our staff at the sites and go through all of the safety protocols and all the processes that have been put in place to ensure the safe return of students. On March 23rd, which is Tuesday, we welcome back a first group of students, which is our students that are in TK through 5th grade that are part of our special day class special education programs. This includes our students in our autism program, our ED program, our DHH, and our students who are part of the Newcomer Academy at Lemonwood in grades 3 through 5. Students will return on March 23rd. Our next phase of students will return after spring break because next week is our last week of school before spring break. We will have a 2-week break, and on April 12th is the first day back. On April 12th, we will welcome back our pre-K through 3rd grade general education students, as well as our students in preschool at San Miguel. And then following that, following week, we will welcome back our 4th through 6th grade general education students, our students in SDC programs and in newcomer programs in those in middle school grades as well. And that is on April 19th. On April 22nd, which is a Thursday, we welcome back our 7th and 8th grade general education students, as well as our students in special day classes. Next slide, please. Our students have been divided into 2 groups, and the way that these groups have been divided is based on the information that you provided to us on the commitment survey that was sent out in December. So we have 2 groups. We have an in-person learning cohort. The students in the in-person learning cohort will be physically in person in school in mornings, and in the afternoon they will continue their learning through their asynchronous work through Canvas as they have been doing most of this year. The second group of students is our students in our distance learning cohort, and this group of students will be doing their asynchronous work that is through Canvas in the mornings, and in the afternoon they will be doing synchronous instruction via Zoom with their classroom teachers. Next slide, please.
May I interrupt for just a moment?
Yes.
There is a request to remind participants that this webinar is being streamed. It is being streamed at http://webinar.oxnardsd.org.
Should I continue?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Notification schedule. The schools have started to notify families of the program selections that you made, like I said, back in December. The upcoming week of March 22nd, you will receive a letter from your child's school informing you of all the logistics and details of the return, including the daily schedule, classroom number, start time, end time, and any additional information the site is going to be providing you. And the return date for this group of students is April 12th. The grades are students in 4th through 6th grade and our students in 7th and 8th grade will be receiving this information from the school the week of March 29th. Again, with all of the logistics and details necessary for the return to school. The 4th through 6th graders, as previously mentioned, will return to school on April 19th, and our 7th and 8th graders will return to school on April 22nd. The only exception here is our newcomer students in middle school, 6th through 8th grade, will return on the 19th as well. Next slide, please. At this time, I would like to invite Ms. Noemi Valdez to share information with us regarding early childhood education and preschool programs.
Good evening, and thank you, Dr. DeJenna. It is my pleasure to present to you information pertaining to our state preschool program. You see that we are offering our parents the same two options of either in-person or distance learning. And so for those parents who chose in-person learning, the sessions will be held in the morning at each of the school sites. Those parents who chose distant learning will have synchronous instruction through Zoom in the afternoon, and then right after will continue their instruction via asynchronous instruction, and that will be through assignments that the teachers have provided, and through Class Dojo, which is the platform that we use in state preschool. Next slide, please. Thank you. The students groups were developed in response to the parent survey that we sent out in January, and that's how the students were assigned. So each parent had an option, had an opportunity to select an option. But if parents change their mind after January, there is room for accommodating changes, and the school sites will support in making sure that as many parents and students are accommodated. Letters will be mailed out this week announcing the assignment that the option that the parents took, and then giving parents an opportunity to change their mind if they wish. And as long as there's room, we will be able to accommodate those changes. Next slide, please. Thank you. So those persons and families who chose in-person or our hybrid learning schedule, school arrival is at 8 o'clock, and class instruction begins at 8 o'clock. 11 o'clock is when school ends and students transition home. And you'll notice in the upcoming schedules that on Wednesdays, it's an asynchronous check-in instructional day. For those parents who chose distant learning, the distant learning schedule is in the afternoon, starting at 1 o'clock and going through 2:30 in the afternoon, and that's through live virtual learning via Zoom with their teacher. At 2:30 to 2:45, we have a transition allowing parents to get their students ready for the next phase of the instructional day, which is our asynchronous instruction. And that portion of the day runs 2:45 to 4 o'clock. And also for those parents opting for distant learning, Wednesdays are check-in and an instructional asynchronous instruction on Wednesdays. Next slide, please. Here is a sample of our state preschool hybrid or in-person learning schedule. You will note that at 8 o'clock, a student arrives to school at 8 o'clock. State preschool programs are licensed, and therefore at this time, temperature checks for students are a requirement. So we will be performing, in addition to the well check that we're asking parents to do at home, we will also be taking temperatures at entry. Parents sign their student in at that time, and then instruction begins at 8 o'clock with breakfast in the classroom. Then the rest of the day through 11 o'clock, a teacher and along with her instructional assistants will lead our students in both whole group and small group activities, reducing the number of students in a group. Then at 11 o'clock is our dismissal. Parents sign their student out, and then they are able to grab a lunch and take it home and enjoy it at home. You'll see that this is the same schedule for Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Wednesdays are an asynchronous day, and students will be working at home with the support from their families and accessing instruction through Class Dojo, which is the digital platform that we have selected for preschool. They'll be working on the hard copy assignments that the teachers deliver to parents. Students needing extra additional support will be provided that on Wednesdays as well. And it's also our teacher time for office hours in case parents have questions. It's also an opportunity for staff meetings and to continue our professional development and training. Next slide, please. Here you see a sample of our distance learning schedule. You'll note that starting at 1 o'clock, synchronous instruction with the teacher via Zoom begins and goes through 2:30 in the afternoon. Here also, teachers through Zoom will be leading whole group and small group activities. And we will focus, like in in-person instruction, on social emotional learning, language arts, and mathematics. From 2:30 to 2:45 is a transition, allowing our parents to get their students ready for the rest of the instructional day, which begins at 2:45 through 4 o'clock. And this is totally asynchronous, working on hard copy assignments that the teacher designates, using Class Dojo as the platform to communicate with their teachers. Students receive support from home, and here also we will be providing individual support as needed. This is the schedule that we will offer on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And like those parents who opted for in-person instruction, Wednesdays will be asynchronous with working at home with the support of parents. And the same components for our teachers, where they will have office hours. They will be doing their lesson planning. It's a time for staff meetings and then professional development and trainings. Next slide, please. Thank you so much.
Now we will review the schedules for our grades TK through 5th grade. The students, the first group of students that will return on April 12th and the other students on April 19th. So school will be, we'll ask students to arrive at school at 8:30, and I'll walk through the details of the schedule on the next slide, please. This is our in-person learning for students. This is for students whose parents selected for the students to come in person. We will ask parents to drop off students at 8:30. Between 8:30 and 8:45, we will start the day. The students will be met by classroom teachers, will be supervised by classroom teachers, and will be in their classes. And during this time, we will have their breakfast in the classroom. At 8:45, we'll begin formal instruction between 8:45 and 11:15. At 11:15, it will be school dismissal, and students will have a grab-and-go lunch that they're able to take home. From 11:15 to 12:30, this is an opportunity for the students and your families to transition back to the setting where then the students at 12:30 will need to log in so that they can begin their asynchronous work. And their asynchronous work will be through Canvas for teacher assigned work, as well as using the district programs like Lexia Core for English language arts and ST Math for mathematics. In addition to that, we have many other programs, Mystery Science, Mayan, AR, etc. And this will be the time when the students follow this schedule. The students will follow this schedule Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. Wednesday will be a virtual day for all students from 9 to 9:30. They will check in to Zoom with their teachers. And this is an opportunity for the teachers to allow the students to ask questions, to get the day started, to make sure students clearly understand their assignments that they will be doing for the remainder of the day. Between 9:30 and 10 o'clock, students will be doing small group instruction during this time. Teachers will let parents know who the students are that need to receive this small group instruction so that there's focus on assisting students in specific areas. The remainder of the day, students will be working through asynchronous work, once again, through teacher assigned work through Canvas, Lexia, ST Math, and the other programs that we have for students that are done in a virtual format. Next slide, please. Then the distance learning schedule for our students, for students who will remain at home, whose parents have selected for students to remain doing distance learning. will be the opposite of the in-person. So if we can go to the next slide, I'll walk through that schedule. For students who will remain at home, we ask that as best as possible to begin the learning in the morning at 8:45. So between 8:45 and 11:15, we'll ask students to start engaging with their asynchronous work. Once again, that is through Canvas, Lexia, ST Math, and all of the other programs that we have for students that are virtual. Between 11:15 and 12:30, all kids will take a break and this opportunity for lunch and get ready to log into their Zoom at 12:30. And they begin their Zoom classes with their teachers from 12:30 to 2:30. And this will happen on Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. And on Wednesday, they will follow the same schedule as the students who are in-person learning. And the teachers will connect the entire class during this time. Next slide, please. The special education schedule is a little bit different, and I'm going to briefly walk you through it, but would also like to make sure and invite you at the end of this presentation. There's a slide with information regarding a meeting that will spend a lot more time and more detail going over the specifics of special education and any questions you may have. This is similar. The day starts just like our general education classes. We start the day at 8:30 with breakfast in the classroom. Instruction for the kids who are in person will be from 8:45 to 11:15 in person with their teachers. During this time, there will also be, for the students who are working at home, there will also be an hour of synchronous instruction, meaning through Zoom, that the students will connect with the teachers or with the paraprofessionals in their classroom to receive that live instruction. Additionally, the students will have to complete, the students that are working at home will also have to complete an hour and a half of asynchronous work. The same we will have for the students who are in person. This is an opportunity for their grab and go lunch and to be dismissed. And from 11:30 to 12:10, this is when students will transition to home and hopefully have lunch and prepare for the afternoon. For the students who are doing the in-person learning, when they get home, they will have 2.5 hours of asynchronous work, just like our previous schedules for our general education students. And for students who are in distance learning model or cohort, this is the time when they will Zoom in with their teachers for the remainder of the afternoon until 2:40. On Wednesdays, they will follow a similar schedule as general education, but they will be receiving additional synchronous time and in small groups and support from their paraprofessionals during this time. Many more details of this schedule, as I mentioned, will be provided during the webinar that will focus strictly on special education questions and needs. Next slide, please. Okay, at this time, I would like to invite Dr. Araceli Fox to join us and be able to walk us through the middle school schedules.
Good evening. Thank you for being here and thank you for the opportunity to share some information with you. So as you can see with the hybrid in-person learning schedule, meaning it's going to be in person and part of it will be with the asynchronous work, we have divided the periods by days. We will be having period 1, 2, and 3, Monday and Thursday, and then period 4, 5, and 6 for Tuesday and Friday. Can we go to the next slide, please? The schedule here depicts the times for each period. So students will be arriving at 8:30, and then from 8:30 to 8:45, they will be having breakfast in the classroom, similar to the TK5 schedule. From 8:45 to 9:30, that would be period 1, 9:35 to 10:20, period 2, and 10:25 to 11:10 would be period 3. This is for in-person instruction. Students then would be dismissed at 11:10, and then they would start with their asynchronous work, the work that they will be doing at home from 1 to 2:45. And that work would be Lexia, ST Math, or any other teacher assigned work. For students that are receiving English language development, they would be doing Zoom sessions with the teacher from 2:40 to 3:20 for periods 1, 2, and 3 on Monday and Thursday. And then on Tuesday for periods 4, 5, and 6, that would be Tuesday and Friday. Wednesday, similar to all the other schedules, students would be checking in from 9 to 9:30 via Zoom. periods 1, 2, and 3 from 9 to 9:30, and then 9:30 to 10, periods 4, 5, and 6. During this day, students will also be completing work at home, asynchronous work, including Lexia, ST Math, or any other assigned work that the teacher has assigned. It is recommended that students complete their work by 4 p.m. This will allow teachers to be able to correct the work and the students to be given credit for the work. Okay, so that is for our in-person blended schedule. Now let's look at distance schedule. Next slide, please. For students that will be returning as distance learning, distance learning students, they would begin their asynchronous instruction from 9 to 11 a.m. And again, this is the work that they would be doing at home. And they would also they will be attending their period similar to the in-person group. They would be doing period 1, Monday, Thursday, period 2, Monday, Thursday, period 3, Monday, Thursday, and then period 4, 5, and 6 would be Tuesday, Friday. Can we go to the next slide, please? This schedule here depicts the hours from 9 to 11, like I mentioned earlier, would be the work that they would be doing at home. And then starting at 12:30, students would be connecting via Zoom. And similar to the other schedule, we're doing period 1, 2, and 3, Monday, Thursday, period 4, 5, 6, Tuesday, Friday. Students that are distance learning will also be doing ELD if they're receiving ELD classes from 2:40 to 3:20 synchronously. And on Wednesday, they will also be checking into their classes, again, period 1, 2, and 3 from 9 to 9:30, period 4, 5, and 6 from 9:30 to 10 a.m. And also on Wednesdays, students will have to complete asynchronous work as well. And we also ask that they turn in, or we recommend that students turn in their work by 4 p.m. Next slide, please.
Are some considerations that we want to mention. We know that there are many questions in regards to transportation. And at this time, because of the safety issues and the regulations that we must follow in terms of social distancing, et cetera, at this time, we will only be providing transportation for students who have a federal mandate that we must do that. There have also been many questions about our after-school program, and just want to share with you that our after-school program has been in operation throughout this pandemic, but will continue to be done virtually. Finally, the students, as you may have seen in the videos, will have their own boxes that will house all of their materials so that students do not need to share any of the materials in class. We will make sure to have supplied every classroom with sufficient materials for students. In these totes that we have purchased, the students will be able to also store their textbooks and any things that they would generally leave in the classroom that we don't want them to transport. There have been questions about backpacks in terms of materials, and we really only encourage the use of backpacks for our middle school students who will go from one class to the other and will need to be able to carry their materials with them. Next slide, please. Okay, at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Dr. Aguilera Fort.
Thank you, Dr. Dejena. And we are going to show you a little bit of how we have organized the facilities for space. Next slide, please. As you know, the regulations keep changing based on new guidelines from the Department of Health. Right now, the regulations allow us to organize the desk of the students using either 6 or 4/5 distance. We are doing our best to accommodate within these two numbers, whether it's 4 or 6 feet, so that we can welcome more students. It's not any longer about the number of students. It is about how many students we can host within these parameters. Every school has hand sanitizing stations across the entire campuses. Every single desk of the students has sneeze guard and students will be protected. As you saw in the video, students in TK through 5 will have their own bags with their materials and will be only touched and manipulated by those students. Dr. DeJena just explained that the students in the middle grades, 6 through 8, will carry their own backpacks. We are trying to provide the most preventive measures so that at the TK5 and the 6-8, students can be as safe as possible. Next slide, please. We explain in the video exactly the different ways how we are ensuring cleaning, disinfecting, and sanitation. So you will watch it again if you need more information, but we want to inform you and confirm that the door handles, the sink handles, the tables, desks, light switch, those are being cleaned consistently. Our custodians are monitoring in a daily basis and more than twice or 3 times per day to make sure that they are cleaning those surfaces in a consistent basis. You also watch in the video the kind of materials that we are using to clean and disinfect, for example, the Clorox 360. Next slide, please. Throughout the whole time, our facilities team has been made sure that we have the highest quality filters so that the air quality is protected. All of our filters comply with the regulations, and all of our filters are MERV 13. And every single classroom is equipped with the kind of ventilation and air filtering that will ensure your child and the teacher are protected and are having and breathing quality and clean air. That is confirmed. I want to also inform you that we have an external monitor, and they conducted the inspection across every single campus so that they will confirm if we were or not in compliance with the regulation. As of right now, we have completed most of the school sites. The inspection will be completed tomorrow and we will get the report. That report will confirm that indeed air quality and any other condition of cleanliness and sanitation and air quality are up to regulations, up to code. Next one, please. I want as a reminder to tell you that tomorrow, March 19 at 6 p.m., Ms. Danielle Edwards, our Director of Special Education, will have a specific webinar to share with you all the details related to welcoming the students who are receiving special educational services in SEC classes. So tomorrow, please, for those parents who have students in those programs, tomorrow is the opportunity for you to learn a little bit more about what and how we are organizing the classroom for your child. Next, please. So with all of these, once again, thank you. Thank you for entrusting the education of your child to the Oxnard School District. I want to thank the teachers, the principals, the entire staff, because we have been working tirelessly so that we can be at this point. We will do our best to accommodate your request. We cannot promise that right now because we need to go back to the sites and see what is possible. But you will get the information from us as soon as we continue adjusting the classroom space. With this, we will finish the questions that we were not able to respond. We will gather them and we will compile and organize, and we will post and publish these responses so you know exactly, you will have more information. Once again, I want to thank the team, Educational Services team, led by Dr. Ana De Llena, the Business Services and Facilities team, every single member of the team for making sure that we are here today. We are excited, we are happy, we are ready to welcome your child, and we will do our best to provide the best experience for in-person learning as your child comes to school, and the best experience as those students who you decided to keep at home from distance learning. We will do exactly the best that we can to ensure a quality, high educational experience for your child. Thank you so very much and have a good evening.